그냥 뭐 별로 1대1 하는 거는 기대되지 않고요. 이기고 싶은 마음밖에 없는데요.
很期待跟另外的明星选手打。
I think it's going to be very interesting. We play against like an actual ball end that plays 2v2.
I will not tell you anything about our strategies. It's too secret.
제가 첫날에 그룹 부모를 때 비역스 선수한테 정말 많이 당해가지고 되갚아줄 날이 이제 온 것 같아요.
我觉得这一次全明星的各个模式都非常有意思，也包括最后的1v1模式。然后我非常期待和很强的对手交手，然后并战胜他。
I think Caitlyn is probably the strongest, so I need to ban some of the AD carries out since I'm playing against an AD carry.
Ice has me in mad life, so we should win. Easy.
对，我们落后一场，就算赢了，应该也是平分吧。所以我觉得应该最多，我觉得应该是打平吧。
我觉得应该是兵队吧，很有信心再一次赢他们。
I think they have the upper hand in the more like teamwork based like Hexakill and Pick 10, but now we have like the straight up just like individual play, so I think we're gonna win this one.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to head into the final games between the Ice and Fire Challenge teams in a series of showdowns. These matches will feature individual players facing off on the Howling Abyss. Each pro will get 3 bans each, and then we'll have blind pick champion. And the rules are a little bit different this games.
Yeah, in the 1v1 matches, the player who secures first blood, kills 100 minions, or takes down 1 enemy tower will win the game and earn 1 point for their team. In the 2v2 duel, the first team to secure 2 kills, kill 100 minions collectively, or take down an enemy tower will take the victory, and that match will be worth 2 points.
And the final 1v1 will be the Super Showdown, where you pick the players. The same 1v1 rules apply, but that game will score 3 points for the winning team. First up is a 1v1 match between Archie from the Saigon Jokers and Shy from CJ Enters Frost.
Yeah, and Archie had a really good showing in that pick 10 match with the top lane Lucian. So he's already shown that he can handle himself in the solo lane, even though he is originally a duo lane player.
And the fact is that Shy had a good start in the Hexakill on Jace as well, getting a bunch of kills at the beginning of the game, but that wasn't enough to get his team to win.
Yeah, and he's only played support champions in the other 2 modes so far, so we haven't really seen him show off all of his solo lane prowess. Shy is probably the favorite to win this match. He was voted into the last All-Stars event, and he made it all the way to the 1v1 finals, where he barely lost to Soaz in that Varus versus Darius matchup. And as Scar would say, he was winning the match all the way up until the point where he lost.
Well, I mean, we saw it last year. He played Varus, as you said. So he's up against an AD carry. I wonder what sort of advantage that may have, the fact that he's had the smallest bit of experience, but Archie is an AD carry, and he said in the video then, I'm going to have to ban a lot of AD carries. Got a couple of champions different this time around. Of course, Lucian's now in the back. What are we expecting bans-wise?
Now, I do expect some AD carry bans because range is a really important factor in these 1v1 matchups. However, there's a big change here. This map is actually different than the one we used last year. The brush is closer. So the brush on the side, you can actually use that more effectively with shorter range champions, and we might see a resurgence of short range champions, not completely dominated by like Kennen and Caitlyn's.
One thing that is, on that note as well, with the brush, a little bit different, is that trinkets are in fact enabled. At least a couple of them. Scrying, for example, can be used. So interested to see how much time these players have had and to work on these different kind of strategies. We're going to be coming into Champ Select here, so we'll find out exactly what's important right now to ban in these 1v1s.
So here we go. Let's see. Riven being banned now. That's a surprise. Jace, of course, Shy played that one earlier on in the tournament. Caitlyn, no surprise. That was the main champion everyone played last year. And the Lucian ban. That's kind of what we expected.
Yeah, not too surprising here. Archie's targeting more top lane champions. Same thing with Shy. He's targeting Archie's AD carries that we called out earlier.
So what are we going to be seeing banned out here finally? And more importantly, after that picked, as we said, a couple of AD carries gone. Jace, Riven here as well, as we see that Archie really running the time down on his final ban. In the end, decides to go for Rengar. Can be an annoyance jumping in and out those bushes. Ooh. And there's another AD carry ban. Draven taken away.
So, Shy will not get to use Rengar and take advantage of those bushes that we just talked about. However, Lee Sin can dash anyway, so he's got built-in dashes, and he's still going to go with a close-range champion.
This could be a horrible mismatch for Archie if this one goes through, surely. You've got to expect the Lee Sin very aggressive early on, very strong. Changes, no differences, honestly, with this fortune. There we go. Lock in quickly for Shy. What are we going to see? What's Archie going to stick with? Will he go for Misfortune? Quinn was banned out a lot last year, by the way. Pointed out, no, he's going to switch back to Varus.
Interesting as well, the summoner choices. Right now, Shy is actually still sitting on Ignite, whereas Barrier for Archie. So Shy actually, if he can use that at the right time, will be able to get the last tick on, or Shy will be able to last tick kill on Archie with his Ignite.
And it, of course, all comes down to that first blood. Back to the rules on that one. You only need the one single kill, and that's the beauty of these 1v1s. Is it going to be a 2-minute game or is it going to be a 10-minute game? Nobody knows.
I think that they're at least going to get to level 6 because that's when Shy gets his bird form, or he can call Quinn. Valor, actually. There we go. He turns into Valor. Calls Valor to the battlefield. And he'll be able to go for that execute move. He wants to combo his execute with the Ignite so he can get through the barrier as well as the shield.
Well, with the showdown about to start, let us know who you think will win this one. Tweet hashtag Archie or hashtag Shy to @LOL Esports.
Hard one to call. I mean, Shy, obviously you give him the advantage when it comes to, for example, playing in 1v1s at All-Star events. Yeah. He was in Shanghai last year. Archie doesn't quite have that one. It's still so hard to call, though. These are very incredibly skilled players. We're going to find out, though. We're going into game. The crowd is ready here, that's for sure, in Paris.
The crowd is absolutely pumped up. I mean, we just had them cheering beforehand. We saw some League of Legends chants coming out from them. The French guys were getting them to jump up and down. The whole stadium was shaking.
As we said, too, the last champion that Shy did lose 1v1 with was Varus. So Archie actually trying to use the same champion against him now.
I wonder if he was trying to go in the mind games, like, it's the champion you played, so I think he's going to blind pick it again. Didn't happen. Shy is not falling for any tricks. He's not going into that bush. He can go for vision, remember. This is the difference. Obviously, you can see it's on Howling Abyss. They do only start level 1, though. They can also go back to the fountain if they need to.
Now, one difference between the old Varus and the newer Varus here is that some of the damage was moved to Piercing Arrow from the Hail of Arrows. But Archie still starting with Hail of Arrows level 1.
They're both sided red pot as well, so no Doran's items. They can only buy 2 Doran's items, by the way. We should make sure that is clear, and it's all down to who will get the first blood. Will we see some early aggression from either of these? The first CS gets cheered out there. We'll see how it goes.
This could be a long day.
There'll be a lot of cheering for 100 CS, yeah.
Well, you can tell they're trying to maximize their auto attack efficiency. Oh, he's going down already.
Shy going on towards Archie. Barrier actually used. Shy's actually falling lower. He's still at summon a heal. He's trying to run away, but he's already popped the heal. One more auto attack. What are doing? Archie can't get in range, and Shy walks away.
I almost lost my bet there. They were not getting very close to level 6. Level 1 all-ins there from Shy, and he burns both summoners. Nobody will have any surprise summoners left or surprise elixirs. So Archie is left with control of the battlefield. He gets the CS lead. This is huge in the ranged matchup.
And obviously, it's all about whether you can take that turret down, whether you can get the 100 minions, or that all-important first blood. As you mentioned, very important to send him packing so early on. Both use the red pots, though, so we'll keep our eye on that one. Shy may well come straight in aggressive, but look at that Hail of Arrows straight back on him.
Already good damage done. Of course, both using those pots here. And Archie,
he's actually all out in every single kill. Oh
that is very true. 15-6 on the CS. And as I said, it's going to be a long day here if we're really cheering for and booing for all the miss CS as well. It's still better than cheering for wall kills. Just going to put that out there right now.
True.
I have to wonder if that all-in from Shy was maybe a miscalculation as to his experience levels, because going all-in level 2, or level 1, not something we usually see.
Again, though, range there of Archie doing a good job to poke back Shy. 10 CS the difference between them. Shy starting to step out of this one. Just to quickly look there at the trinkets, we saw him being used a little bit earlier on. Shy gonna go aggressive.
Going back in on a Hail of Arrows, came in, didn't quite get the blinding shot down though. That's what he wanted to start things off with instead. There it is. Now he's blinding him out. He's got it. Shy takes down Archie.
Absolutely crazy 1v1 to start off with here. by all rights, Shy should have already lost this game after that fight right at the very start of the game. But that's the nature of 1v1. You can make one cancelled auto attack, one step in the wrong direction means you win or lose a fight.
Right, he goes back, he purchases first, and he returns once he levels up and gets his blind.
Don't go for the shirts, guys, just the jackets. Don't go the full football play. So they trade jackets there, very nicely done. Almost go back to the old football there. We are in France after all. So Shy takes points for Fire. That's an important kill as well, more importantly, because obviously they were 4-2 up. Ice were coming into this one after Froggen rallied the troops to get them back in there, but that will feel good for Shy, I feel there.
Well, he's got to, hasn't he? Because he almost lost that one to the point where it's sort of like, wow, I almost got basically my entire team shouting at me after I would have got down from the stage for losing the points.
He got the triple kill on Jason, the Hexa kill. He started off so well, and then he got dumpstered by Froggen, so he's definitely going to be happy to turn some points around for his team.
One auto attack was all it would have taken to kill him level 1. However, that could easily be calculated because there's no flashes here. Everyone running 2 combat summoners, so you don't have to worry about those flash last auto attack kills.
He's going to sit down there in the crowd now, and that's the great thing. We're going to basically run all these games back-to-back. Players all set up on the stage. We move now into our second best of one. 1 versus 1, because that's, of course, what we're doing.
They are best of ones.
They are best of ones, too. Best of 1 kill, basically.
Well, we are going to head into our next duel as appropriately named. Cool from Team Ice will be going head-to-head against the Psychon Jokers QTV from Team Fire.
Yeah, and yesterday, Cool played a beastly Lee Sin, showing off his mechanics on one of the more complex champions in the game, as well as his flexibility. And now, he played up to the quarterfinals last year at Worlds, and he was actually the MVP of the 2013 Summer LPL season. So he is definitely a very strong solo lane player. As for QTV, he is a top lane player for Saigon Jokers, but he has actually had to use supports twice and Ezreal once here at All-Star. So we haven't really seen him use his favorite champions yet. In the past, he has preferred Kennen, who has been both picked and banned a lot in 1v1 matchups. So maybe that will slip through for him here and give him an edge.
And not wearing the hat today as well. We've seen him having the hat on the last couple of days.
Let his highlighted hair show through.
Changing style today for QTV. We'll see how that goes. We've just seen that, the first 1v1 coming in, giving us a bit of insight into where the big picks are coming in, of course, ending up with AD carries in the end, despite having lots of AD carry bans.
And I wonder whether the players obviously were watching now. They're kind of as much in the dark as, so the more experience will go on. Obviously, the last one will be Froggen versus Wei Zhao, so they're all going to be keeping their eye on this one. What do we think? We're going to see an adjustment in the picker bans. Obviously, we saw Archie very much heavily going towards the top laners of Shy, but Shy wasn't interested. He wanted an AD carry.
Yeah, you kind of get a feel for what champions are going to be strong in 1 versus 1 situations regardless, because in League of Legends, when you are in a solo lane there, if you take a champion who's only good in laning phase, those are usually the ones that are going to be good in this because there's no junglers that are going to interrupt you. He goes for the Quinn. The reason Quinn's not picked in competitive is because of the late game. And, her laning phase is great. However, it's the rest of the 5-on-5 interaction that she does fall off. Shy recognizes the blind is going to be helpful, the gap closer is going to be helpful, and he takes him out.
And that's the thing, you can't sit back here because CS is also a factor in the game, and we saw it actually last year at All-Stars at CS was actually a deciding factor in a couple of our games, so you can't just sit back and play defensive till you get a couple of levels.
And if you get sent back too early, too many times, then your tower suddenly starts taking a hell of a lot of damage. They're weaker turrets, remember, as well. Here we go. Picks and bans underway. Caitlyn, Yi, and Zillion being banned now quickly by Ice, and by Fire they go for Aatrox. Oh, I wonder if this has been a predetermined. We saw Cool's Lee Sin throughout Hexakill and Pick 10 yesterday. It was magnificent. QTV, is he going to go toe for toe? He's already locked it in.
I've got to give it to QTV. He bans 3 A champions. It looks like he does not care what Cool is going to bring to the table. And yes, they will have
did go across the top.
I know this because me and Kobe had a practice 1v1 earlier, and they're exactly the 3 that I backed against Kobe, which I did win that game, by the way.
We saw Diamond Prox obviously do this with Insect last year. Insect came out on top, of course, in that one, despite Diamond having his It's My Jungle GTFO t-shirt on underneath. He didn't get to unveil it. He didn't get to pull it out. We'll see how Cool does. This is going to be an interesting one. Jump on Twitter and tell us who you think will win this one. Hashtag Cool or hashtag QTV. And be sure to send it to @LON.
Hold it together, D-Man. We've got another exciting Lee Sin matchup here. The difference is our only summoner spells right now. One Ignite here for Cool, whereas QTV is running with the heal. Now Ignite, can you? Ignite still cuts in half the healing amount of your summoner heal. Even though summoner heal will remove it for further sustain, the initial heal itself will be cut in half.
So, double Lee Sin. Dragon Fist Lee Sin versus ordinary Lee Sin. Nobody went with the SK Telecom skin.
Yeah, actually only SK Telecom have really had massive success with the SK Telecom skin.
Fnatic used those skins and it didn't work out for them.
Actually tried it in the group stages and that did not go so well for me. Ended up going 1-7-0 in that. So you don't do that when you're playing SK Telecom. Here we go though. It's a double Lee Sin face-off. Ice versus Fire. Fire 1-0 up in the 1v1s. Can Ice pull themselves back a game? QTV versus Cool.
Well, I don't think I will be making the mistake of guessing for level 6s again, because both of these guys have started red elixirs. So we'll probably see some early trades here. I don't know if they will actually start Qs each. Nobody has selected a spell yet. They're waiting to see.
He tried to edge too close to that bush and showed himself.
Now, if you start with your E, then it's easier to shove the wave. And unless you have a clear shot, that's generally a better choice, because Q is extremely risky. Probably E into Q for these guys, I'm guessing.
So far, it's been a dance battle off, mainly. Both players just going head-to-head, having a bit of a dance. But now that the minions come in there, we'll see exactly how this one's going to go. And we can see that they are indeed going towards that E.
All right, let's take a look here. We have a little bit more attack damage on Cool. So QTV, and he doesn't have more armor penetration. Probably attack speed he's opted for instead.
Cool's got the early advantage here. You can see he's already pushed it back. Red pot used by both players as well. You can see Cool managed to clear that wave and keeping 3 CS with him. It's a good start by him, but again, Cool can't shove any closer because he's just going to get in turret range.
It's a battle of the wave pushing here. He got level 2.
Oh, he's got level 2. Backs away though. And that's the difference here. A bad trade where your opponent gives you 1 auto attack or some spell damage and you don't can mean real bad things for you. So it means you have to maybe go back, lose CS to the turret. The kill doesn't land on QTV.
Heal's already been used by QTV. You can see Cool, he's still got Ignite and Barrier available. Barrier still on QTV, but it's a big advantage for Cool taking that down early.
More minions for him there. 10-10 after those waves start to reset themselves and go back into the middle of the map. QTV slightly behind when it comes to current health status. And again, they're going to have a little bit of a head-to-head as they hit that level 3 stage. And we'll see if Cool is going to... I mean, he was not scared of diving in the games we saw him playing Lee Sin.
Oh, you can see 225, the heal relic spawns, and it was Cool to manage to get on it. That's going to keep it away from QTV. He's got his own one he can back off to as well. He's been trying to thread the eye of the needle with that Sonic Wave a couple of times now.
Now, on this map, the healing has been taken away except for the 2 that are actually between turrets. There's no healing behind your turrets, so QTV can't back off and get those ones. Also, it is 75 seconds now before that one respawns. So Cool has complete control of the map right now.
Yeah, keep him pushed onto his tower, keep taking those health relics. And if things get really bad for you, you can simply back away onto your own health relic. QTV actually coming out there a little bit more from underneath his turret. You can see that Cool is starting to gain that CS lead though from this.
Trying to edge him out, trying to zone him a little bit. You can see he's just waiting to thread that Sonic Wave through QTV. Still got that glowing orb of the red pot, as is Cool. It's going to time out very soon, though.
We have our first divergence in spell selection here. QTV, because he is so far behind, has put an extra point into the Safeguard Iron Will for sustain, and Cool is looking for that kill. So leveling up the Tempest Cripple to level 2.
That health relic will be regenning very soon. There it is. Cool's QTV goes for it. Cool didn't head him off there. Maybe didn't know the timer on it. You can see does manage to safeguard across. He's going to try and start zoning QTV out here.
Just a little bit more damage here and there. Not in the plan, I think, for Cool to let that health relic go over after he picked up the first one, but he should now at least, if he didn't know the timer before, he's certainly got it in his head by now. And that means that he should be able to control that one. For QTV actually coming in there and straight out onto the minion.
It made him miss 3 CS, so it kind of worked out there. Keeping his cool though, didn't go diving in on that one.
All right, Cool gonna be the first one to cancel a recall. Never mind. Let's see what he's saving for.
Yeah, that's interesting to see when these players, if maybe even these players are going to go back. We saw it in the last game, but only really because Shy was forced to go back after taking so much damage and almost going down before going on to win that first 1v1 for Fire. Up until now, though, it's definitely Cool that's looking the stronger of the two. He's almost halfway to the target. Actually, he's going to land the Q. Goes in onto QTV. Decent damage back there. But again, it's a trade that Cool comes out on top of.
He could finish him here. He could finish him. He's only got Barrier available, no heal. He's got Ignite and Barrier. He could actually end up with a tower dive. They're about to hit level 6. You can see it coming out. Surely got to feel the pressure. Surely he's going to go for this one.
Yeah, level 6 hit by both players at exactly the same time. QTV's going to be hovering over that R to kick him away as soon as he comes in.
QTV has to be very, very careful about his minions going down because that's when Cool's going to be shooting his Qs right through.
Oh. Sonic Wave miss. There's the Ignite used as a little too early, and it's actually brought 2 tower hits on Cool. That was a mistake.
That was a bit of a blunder right there, but it did back QTV off from some of the minions, and Cool still retains a giant minion lead.
That his aim here. He's actually going to go back off into the brush. That means that he is going to be buying up. That means that this CS here that QTV has for free, he has to hit every single one of them to come back into this one, and he's actually going to recall now, and that's going to be at least 2 or 3 minions going down to the turret.
All-out aggression from Coolo. Double Doran's blade. He can only buy 2. That's why he's gone for the longsword and the health point afterwards. It wasn't because he couldn't afford it. It was because you're simply not allowed to in the 1v1 rules. You can see, though, look at QTV. Double Doran's blade and a red pot. That could give him a big advantage in the big engagement that's surely to come.
Yeah, he needs something to get back into this game. So he can't go for a static item, looking for the extra power from the
He's
elixir.
freezing the lane.
Cruel.
Tactics being involved in this one.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that in 1v1, but this is serious business now.
Health relics are back up here as well, so there's a bit more sustainability for these players if they do end up fighting. And honestly, from Cool's side, whilst it's not the most spectacular way to win a game by farming to the 100-point first, he's in a lead and he doesn't really need to risk anything at this stage.
And remember the build from QTV. He's maxing his safeguard first, so he doesn't have as much kill potential on Cool. Kicks him off the relic.
Nicely done there, Cool. Keeps him away from that relic. QTV, though, not too worried. Got the life gen. Has used that red pot, though.
Red pot pop from him. Back up to full HP here, but as we said, Cool concentrating on the CS, trying to keep QTV away from as much as possible. And honestly, QTV struggling to hit a couple of CS there in that one. That shouldn't be such a problem. And there we see it, the halfway point in this.
Interested to see how this turns out late game because QTV has skilled up for the sustain game, but he has actually purchased items for burst damage, going with the elixir. If Cool can actually wait that one out, then he will have a tremendous advantage moving forward because he can turn his longsword into a Vamp Scepter and play the long game. Just go for that CS lead.
QTV is shoving the wave in here and actually starting to turn this game back around on Cool here. Cool's time to back away to his turret. He may well lose out some of that CS. It is 100 CS limit, remember, that whoever reaches it first, of course, Cool with that big advantage early on here. We'll see whether he lands that Sonic Wave, goes aggressive on QTV. They could both bounce around quite easily. We've seen Cool being very aggressive in the team games, but right now he's being fairly passive and QTV is starting to pull him away. Or is he baiting him in?
Baiting him in, I think, more than anything, but this is good damage from QTV, and we saw last year also that a lot of players tried to farm back into the game and then realized as they got to like 85, 90 CS, you know what, I actually have to just go all in right now and try to win a fight. We see the members of both teams sat down watching this game progress, and so far CS lead over with Cool has taken a bit of a bruising in these last couple of minutes as the health relic does come up. QTV could do with keeping him away from that one, or at least stopping him from getting as much farm here off this wave as he can.
Well, as you pointed out, he's struggling to try and get himself, despite the fact QTV has gained himself a little bit of an advantage here. I wonder if he's going to land the Sonic Wave quickly. Just have to thread it through the minion line. Nope, not going to happen. He may actually gain some experience, but again, now he's got, oh, wow, a Brutalizer being picked up by Cool. You've got to feel some serious aggressions coming out. QTV does have barrier and heal available, though.
So interesting. Cool, even though he has the minion lead, he's going more for kill here. He's got the Q as well.
And to be honest, he can probably fight him right now. There is Cool actually diving through. Not putting as much damage as he may have expected there, I think. But there's another one. Gonna try and follow through onto this one. There is the Relic. And QTV actually has level advantage here. But look at the minions. 86 and counting already for Cool.
Yeah, QTV has to do something pretty quick here. Cool is starting to have the damage aggression. You can see he's bouncing him around. QTV goes all in on this one. He's got heal and barrier available. We can see the damage coming out. It's just too much. The heal's been used. He's got barrier available, but Cool, if he lands this Sonic Wave, it is all over. QTV with the barrier just about survives the minion wave coming in towards him. Cool's going to go deep. He gets it. Ice get themselves a point back.
The max range AoE from Cripple, and Cool was only 10 CS away from winning that game too. So really QTV was forced into making something happen.
A 10-minute, 5-second game, as you mentioned. It went the distance there, absolutely, but Cool has shown some serious prowess on Lee Sin throughout these games, so no surprise that he comes up in top of that one. And Diamond, I think, would have appreciated watching that game.
Yeah, and you have to wonder for Cool if he's got a career in the jungle ahead of him, certainly on Lee Sin, because he's done absolutely incredibly on that one so far. That was an important victory for Ice, stopping Fire, you know, ramping back up and getting into maybe a bit of a lead.
So 5-3 the points are currently. Ice currently still in the lead. Froggen, captain of that team, of course, but it is the 2v2s coming up in a moment. It's a big one building, that's for sure.
This one is really interesting. The Double Lift and Mad Life going to be taking on Bjergsen and Diamond. These are like the two guys on each team that have become closest here at All-Stars.
Well, I mean, more importantly, this is a 2-point game. They can tie themselves up here. This could be Ice being drawn level with Fire. After Fire's great start, we have to give it the credit. Bjergsen went absolutely crazy in that opening Earth game. He's probably the player that played it the most. I think it's safe to say. Earth, and it actually fits his playstyle, the crazy fast mechanics. But you can see them on your screens there, Double Lift and Mad Life, or Double Life and Mad Lift, whatever you want to refer to them as, setting up alongside Bjergsen and Diamond. And Diamond, of course, played a bunch of games last year with, or against, I should say, Bjergsen when he was on NIP. But now, of course, they are cross-Atlantic buddies. And we'll see how it works out. Diamond himself says he has a plan for this one.
He has a plan for it, and I wonder what that's going to be. When it comes down to the bans, do they go more towards Mad Life? Are they going to get rid of the Thresh? Are we going to be looking at getting these AD carries away from Double Lift? On the other side, we've just seen there two Lee Sins coming out against each other. We saw different bans that time around. I'm not sure QTV bans were actually like, you know,
when they both went Lee Sin, it tells me something was pre-organized on that one.
I think they were both realized, or both knew they were going Lee Sin from the start, and the bans didn't matter so much.
Well, as we mentioned, next up in this Ice and Fire duo duel between CLG's Double Lift and Frost's Mad Life. Of course, on the other side is Gambit's Diamond. He is paired with TSM's Bjergsen.
As we said, both of these guys, both of these pairs have become really close during this All-Star event. Double Lift and Mad Life have become extremely close friends, while Diamond and Bjergsen have been duo-teaming pretty much the entire time that they have been here to grow that European synergy. And this is interesting because both of these players were in the 2vs2 challenge last year at the All-Star event, and they actually both made it to finals, speaking of Double Lift and Mad Life. Double Lift actually lost to Mad Life. It was Double Lift and Special and Mad Life and Prey. So Double Lift has something to prove here. The pressure is on because if this team loses, it's probably his fault. Mad Life already won this competition, okay? Mad Life can blame Double Lift all day long.
Dragging Mad Life down with him.
And let's not forget that the teams themselves actually picked the players for these duo matches. It wasn't you guys at home that voted. It wasn't kind of the rest then that were put in together. This was the one that the captains of each team chose to play with. And well, we heard it from Diamond. I've got a plan, and I think it was more.
Bjergsen, you're with me.
Exactly.
I have a plan.
Exactly.
And that's exactly how Bjergsen phrased it to us as well. He said, I was told he's got a plan. I don't know what it is yet. Hasn't told me, so we'll see how it works out. They've obviously been practicing for this one. What are we thinking? If they've got a plan, what would you go here with a duo pairing?
So the story is...
It's got to be a kill lane,
it's right. It's a support main and an AD carry main versus a jungle and a mid laner. Jungle and mid lane, actually really good synergy. What a great pairing as well. So we'll see if they actually choose champions that they do main and try and combo them that way, or if they just go all out.
Well, I'm not sure.
Go with the kill lane and try and end it early.
So you think Diamond's going to stay in the bushes the whole time? Just come sneaking out?
There's no minions from the farm for the jungle.
Surprise!
He's going to surprise
I'm
gank
still
him.
here.
Well, I'm not sure the brush is that effective when you can have 2 scrying orbs.
That's very true.
It's true.
The other thing that we haven't seen yet, you can have one of the red trinkets, a sweeper, but the only reason you would get that is if you wanted to play a long game, get to level 9, upgrade it to oracles, and you are playing against something that would go invisible, like a collie or something.
It's a long stretch, that's for sure.
There's a little small chance.
I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be. I think they'd be at 100 CS by 9. They only just hit 9 then. They're already at 90, but they missed quite a few CS. I think it would be definitely a long game play, that's for sure, the longest. So will we see AD carry supports? Will we see the Thresh? I mean, obviously there's 3 bans in here as well for either side, so I'm expecting Thresh ban, Vayne ban. I don't know about the Vayne ban.
Double
Maybe a
Lift
Lucian
and
ban.
MadLife played Thresh and Vayne in the last match, and they actually lost that lane early.
Yeah,
so
MadLife ended up divorcing him and going to the top to Archie.
So what I want to see is the Ash Sejuani versus Brandon Annie composition
Theme
on
battles.
both.
Okay.
But, you know, theme battle for this one. Ice versus fire. I'm not sure it's going to happen, though.
It very well
So
could
the
be a
crowd's
possibility.
checked the man. I don't know why.
You're very famous, my friend.
Chips and Noir, they're loving me, that's what it is. Okay, so picks and bans underway. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
They're banning out MadLife. Oh no!
Sin Syndra being taken away there. MadLife has been focused. They're not going to be happy. That is both of MadLife's key known champions. As Crepo said, pulling a MadLife. The fact that Blitzcrank at Thresher off there. Look at MadLife. He's not happy. He's just like, well, what do you want me to do?
He was cracking up at first when he first saw them. But yeah, they are targeting the AD carry and support roles.
Basically, MadLife's like, all right, then I'll play Vayne, and you can take some other support for this one.
No, is it going to be Annie Brand? It is. It's going to be Annie Brand. That was one of the combos that was pretty heavily favored last time around, and actually it looks like Team Ice are going for the double AD. So this is a big strategy by both teams. Obviously the range advantage with Ice, but there's a big kill lane in Annie Brand.
Yeah, it's going to be fire versus, I guess purple is sort of a theme on this other side, if we want to stretch it. But this fire lane, actually I believe it was used in competitive play in Korea. Monty will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Frost and KT Rolster used it, actually. And one of the teams won with it. I think it was Rolster that won.
So the great thing is, of course, that you've got masses of stun going in there and some really focused damage, especially when he gets level 6. And that, okay, game number 1 showed us that maybe we're not going to see too much level 6 play in these games. The second one said, okay, we probably are going to. And I'm thinking the 2v2, when you have to get 2 kills rather than just the 1, but it could last a little bit longer on that.
Yeah. It could, and it doesn't matter whether it's 2 kills at once or just 2 kills consecutively. That's all you got to do. Well, the champions are picked for this match. Send us a tweet with your prediction for the winning duo to @LOLesports using the hashtag IceWin or hashtag FireWin. And, you know, seeing Double Lift and Madlow's face just at the end of that, as soon as they saw the picks, they were like, yes! So they are pretty confident that they've got this one.
Should we change those hashtags to like hashtag purple win and hashtag fire win? Because they have sort of a theme. They're going with the Arctic skin on Varus at least, and the Arctic skin on Kennen.
See?
That works with the theme.
Exactly. So it is kind of fire and ice.
There we go.
That's
It-
good.
it's
We're happy
perfect,
about this
actually.
one. But who's going to be the strong one? I mean, we could also see these play, although I don't think so. You know, you've got like...
Just go with it. Come on, Joe. You just got to go
farm
with
AD
it.
carry, and you've got a mid laner. They're both absolutely amazing at farming, right? They could well just sit back and farm to 100 faster than the other.
Maybe what they do.
I think the fact that they've gone for ice and fire theme comp tells me that the chance of fighting a lot is high.
And if you are in an Annie Brand lane, you're looking to kill somebody. This is a stun lock lane. Annie sets up Brand very, very well. Usually Brand's combo is extremely hard to land, and that's why he's not taken.
Diamond dancing around Bjergsen there. Keeping that fire going. I wonder who chose who was going to play who here, because it's Diamond that came up with the tactic. I think he's just Iron Brand. You are on Annie.
Well, judging by the way that he made Bjergsen play this game with him and just said, I'm the captain, you're playing with me, and that's how it's going to be. It's very possible that he did say, I'm playing Brandon, you're Annie.
So do you think that he will be the carry and Bjergsen will be his support this time around, beating over CS? Let's see who they focus CS on, or if it's just every man for himself.
Well, everybody seems to think Fire could win this one. They had the vote there, just close to 60%. And this is going to be the problem. It's like, while you say the ranged AD champions, these are both very high ranged AP champions as well.
Oh, bit of damage being exchanged there at the very start of things. Early CS advantage did go over onto Fire, but that's pretty much not even the end of the first wave here. And there we see 5-2, it's going to be 5. I can't see double lift missing this CS. So yeah, 5-5 after that first wave coming in. Pretty decent job on that one. Bjergsen has a stun worked up here, so they need to be a little bit careful.
Positioning around these minions is extremely important, especially for Team Fire. If they can avoid the harass from Mad Life early, whoa!
Oh, it's all on double lift. There's the stun lock. The exhaust is going to be used on both sides, but you can see Bjergsen, Mad Life's all over him.
Dead.
One more shuriken comes in, and now Diamond's in trouble. The long range from double lift, but he goes down. But Mad Life can finish the game right here. One more shuriken threading through. One more He's on the tower. Oh, the barrier blocks it for the minions. He just about gets into the bushes and saves his life. Diamond may go for this.
Absolutely insane stuff here. That would have ended the game, whether that was Mad Life going down or Diamond going down. So very, very close.
Healing relics are about to come up. They also restore some resource for your champion. So if Diamond had been able to get that, it would also give him mana back. But he has to go back to the base, get back to full life, because the next person to go down, doesn't matter who it is going to lose the game.
So Mad Life actually stuck around from this one. He decided not to recall out and get himself back up to full HP. So he would be the obvious target, a little bit more mobile, but if you can chain those stuns onto him, it doesn't really matter how mobile you are. Summoner spells as well. Bjergsen still has flash, so there's still a flash stun possibility for him.
Well, Diamond actually went back and got himself a Doran's Blade for this one. They need to make sure they can keep up with the CS, as you mentioned. We saw already in game two, with Cool. Once they get that CS advantage, it's very hard to catch back up, especially against 280 carries.
Yeah, and as of the matchup so far, we basically do see it playing out as expected. Mad Life was the one to get the kill, and Double Lift actually came back in and got killed.
So all in. Bjergsen looking for this one. He's got flash available. He's got the stun ready. Surely they can pop someone on ice quicker than ice can return the damage. The 80 carries need time to build that damage up.
Diamond also has a Doran's Blade on top of his red elixir.
True.
So the auto attacks from Brand are going to hit pretty hard as well.
And the question is, because we've already got one kill apiece, there's a stun onto Double Lift. If they don't follow it through, I was going to say how it is obviously risky to flash stun in there from Bjergsen's side, but would that be worth it? Would they go for that one here? Would they dare go for something that ballsy?
It absolutely would be worth it, because they only need single target damage. They only need to take down one person, and they just have to rush it because all the summoners are currently down. There's no exhaust that he has to get through, no barrier, no heal.
Oh, that's good poke. Diamond's actually taken very low. He's got aggressive on this one. Double lifts on him, but he gets locked up. And Mad Life goes down to Diamond's burn. And it is Bjergsen and Diamond that take victory for Fire. And that is tying everything up at 5-5.
Bjergsen stuns both of them to save Diamond and secure the kill. Such a close match.
The timing on that as well. Double Lift. His Varus was literally drawing the bow back to throw that last auto attack out. Gets stunned up, but we can see these guys become good friends certainly over this last week. And an important victory though for Fire, because that ties us right up going into final Super 1v1 to decide it all.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. And you know, I was thinking, I was building up towards the Flash Tibbers. Like, how would they ever be able to stop the Flash Tibbers? Once that came in, there was no doubt about it. Fire would have won that. But Ice were trying their best to poke, but they seemed a little split. You know, this pairing, this marriage is maybe breaking up a little bit early here.
They're on the rocks, D-Man. Well, this is the last day in Paris, so maybe they will be parting ways soon. But yeah, it was so close, and it was actually Mad Life who got the stun first, and they kind of baited themselves in there, stunning up Diamond, and they got a little bit too close. Great stun from Bjergsen, though, to answer for the kill.
so close though. Double lift, as we said, was
One hit.
on the way out. The arrow was already like,
Yeah, it was like, piercing arrow, no, my buddy
didn't work
died.
out.
And that's why you need to protect your support as well, ladies and gentlemen. And Mad Life, he won it last year, but this time he got paired with a bit of an anchor double lift, it seems. So before we head into the final challenge match, let's check out the point totals between the two teams. After that last match, Team Fire have heated up the competition, tying with Team Ice. It is 5-all right now. Our next match will decide everything in this All-Star Challenge, and we know all about it. It's a three-pointer. This is a big game.
well, it couldn't have gone any better if we'd planned it this way, to be honest. You know, the whole swing back and forth over the different game modes, coming in here into the 1v1s, a fantastic 2v2 there. And then it comes down to Froggen versus Wei Zhao.
Absolutely. The battle for the All-Star Challenge comes down to this last showdown. And you know where the ones that were picked this final matchup. You chose Froggen from Alliance there on the screen.
Yeah, gonna do battle with Wei Zhao. And then, of course, they are going to go against Team Fire here for everything. The Super 1 versus 1 showdown is worth 3 points for the winning team.
Let's talk about Froggen here for a second,
Yes.
because he had an amazing performance on Anivia yesterday. Despite going up against Bjergsen Zed, he had a perfect game. He never died, he went legendary, and he ended the game with a fully stacked Soul Stealer.
And some Fire Cape and Warmogs.
Yeah, just added some defense in there as well. Meanwhile, Wei Zhao, he performed well against Double Lift in the early game. And typically, AD carries do perform very strong in these 1 versus 1 matches. He himself has hit Challenger #1 on the Chinese server. He was also voted into the All-Stars last year, playing in the 2v2 challenge, where he and Xiao Xiao lost to the eventual winners of the challenge, Prey and Mad Life. Now, this matchup is the matchup that the fans voted for, you said. This is the one that everybody wanted, and this is what it all rides on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Froggen was honestly the best mid laner in Europe. I think it's safe to say this season, and no doubt about it. You know, very much a stronger one. He dragged his team Alliance obviously up to 4th place. I think it was in playoffs, 3rd in the league overall. He did. He dragged them screaming and kicking. He was the captain that tried to pull them up there. Wei Zhao, meanwhile, on Team WE, of course, they kind of fell off the perch. They used to be the #1 team in China, but you got to argue the fact that OMG is here says that they are falling away.
They are, but he has not lost his personal skill.
Absolutely.
He's still a top AD carry coming from China.
And actually, you know, we obviously had Reckless here this weekend for Fnatic, and you think back to IPL 5, Wei Zhao dumpstered Reckless at IPL 5. He was unstoppable in that bottom lane.
And that's what you got to think about coming into this 1v1, that Froggen as a mid laner, we know that he can play pretty much every champion that you're going to give him to a very good level. I mean, we saw him playing in Irelia, let's not forget. Obviously, he's learned a few tips from Wicked on that one, who sees himself, I think, as the best Irelia player in the world. Froggen's got something to say about that, but I think what Froggen said earlier about banning AD carries is an absolute must here against someone like Wei Zhao.
Well, here we go. Picks and bans underway. What will they go with? Will it be an AD carry? Will it be an AP champion? We do see the Varus and Quinn bans there, which we saw in Game 1 between Archie and Shy. Of course, Quinn came out on top of that one, but they are all tied at 5-5. The winner of this game will be victorious. And honestly, the captain for Team Ice, you feel, has to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders here, because he's just seen his pairing of Mad Life and Double Lift losing. That's the one that should have won. But instead, Caitlyn is banned away. All AD carries so far. No surprises, honestly, when Wei Zhao's in the mix.
Yeah, as you said, Froggen is a very versatile player. He can play AD carries, so Wei Zhao does not want to give him Quinn as well. We just saw how strong of a duelist Quinn is. Even when Shy lost early, he still came back and was able to get the kill, get the win.
Still like to see Anivia.
Yeah, I think the crowd would absolutely love it as well. I think you'd probably hover over it for a moment.
Actually, Lulu taken
well, that's
away
not
here
surprising.
in the final
Wei
match.
Zhao played it very well. We just saw with the stats. It was 14-11 or something like that. Crazy stats. Kennen the final ban, and Froggen currently sitting through. Okay. Everybody's seen the Karthus LeBlanc discussion that Froggen's been having lately.
Exactly.
And well, Faker believes it in Karthus as well. And Froggen sometimes believes that there is not a lot that can beat Karthus. I'd be interested whether he does put his money where his mouth is, or whether he changes around, which he has currently.
Interesting. Yasuo would be much more exciting. We would probably be able to see a level 1 all-in from a Yasuo. If you start with the dash and charge it up on all the minions, make use of your shield. We've seen many people go for very early all-ins. And with people not taking flash on this, it truly is an all-in. You're not coming back out.
This is not what I was expecting, that's for sure. And actually, now that I cast my mind back and I think of all the bans that have been going, there's been a lot of Yasuo bans against Froggen. We've never once seen it in the European LCS, this split, but it has always been banned against him. So it's clearly something that's been happening in scrims that's not allowed it through.
Yeah, he was basically the first person that everyone was banning the Yasuo against when we first saw Yasuo actually coming into play. So this is an interesting one. The Jarvan as well, not a champion that I had that I had down for Wei Xiao. I'll get those words out now, but we'll have to see. I'm not sure about it.
Our final duel is about ready to go, so tweet us at LOL Esports using hashtag Froggen or hashtag Wei Xiao and let us know who will win this challenge match. You got it right in the last one. They went for Fire and Fire managed to pull it equal. It is 5-all. This match means everything.
Wei Xiao actually looked a little bit nervous there. I don't know. I think he's a little bit scared of Froggen.
His summoner spells say that he's looking for the kill, though, because he's taking Ignite. Once again, we see someone with Ignite. He's got Barrier to back it up as well.
You take a Jarvan, you're going to be going all in, that's for sure, of course. Could get a little bit of poke early on, maybe with a Dragon Strike going in. Once that Flag Toss combos with it, he's looking to dive straight on to Froggen. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The final challenge match of All-Star 2014 Paris. It is Froggen for Ice up against Wei Xiao for Fire.
So, standard early start that we've seen from every single player so far, which is Red Pot and Health Potion. And there is the vote. 71% here for Froggen with the Yasuo.
Now, Froggen actually rushed the bush, and Wei Xiao did not rush his side of the bush, but it doesn't matter because Froggen's so scared that someone's in there, he doesn't have long enough range to check it, that Wei Xiao's able to step in. And we get some fellows playing with weapons, let's put it.
Lots of swinging of the swords. That's all that Wei Xiao and Froggen are doing. A good Dragon Strike right now would catch him, actually, which I think he's going to open to look at starting a little bit of poke on Froggen. But the problem is, Froggen, with that wind that builds up, it does actually give him a little bit defensive points.
It's pretty funny that you mentioned poke because this is not your usual poke. They both have very similar skills, though, just trying to stab each other with their pointy ends.
And so far, it's Wei Xiao that's bullying Froggen.
He's got the experience advantage here.
Keep him away from these last minions. Doing a good job of that. 5-2 up here is Wei Xiao. I'm wondering if at level 2, is he going to go all in on this one? No.
It's like a fencing match right now. Everybody's just going for points. If you can land one of the poke.
Ooh, trying to pull the trigger. Tower hit actually on towards him. Red Pot was used by Wei Xiao quite early on. Froggen has finally used his as well. But as you mentioned, he's got to be careful he doesn't lose out in the CS. I don't think it will happen. He's generally pretty hot on his CS, but he did lose that one. And that one.
Not so hot.
Not so hot. But he does manage to get the knockup, and now there's a big hit point advantage over Wei Xiao. He's sliding around left and right, and he's keeping Wei Xiao guessing.
And his dash is fully charged up, so he's looking to take another trade.
Oh,
this might be enough.
This could be it. No, Barrier actually forcing that barrier out there, and Froggen, and that's one of the problems that you're going to have against Yasuo. The fact that when there's a full minion wave there, he has so many targets just to dash around, and it's very hard to control. And there's the health relic. Wei Xiao would like that, but trying to push out there might just be the death of him. Froggen's just going to pick that up.
He was using it as bait for a little moment there. Didn't quite get the knock-up on Wei Xiao this time around, but we already saw how dangerous a combo that is, and Wei Xiao is going to have to judge his next flag toss very carefully. He's going to back off. He's using the scrying up just to double-check where the Froggen's going as well. Clever use, but Froggen, he's stuck around, and Wei Xiao will be unaware of that one, but he's pretty clear that something's happening. Sticks around for a little bit longer.
Wei Xiao's is longer. He gets the hit on Froggen, but he still has to worry about the...
He's in trouble. No. We don't know where Froggen's going right now. He's just sliding. He's ice skating around the Howling Abyss.
Excessive dashes. It only takes 4 to charge up fully and get that extra 100% damage.
And the shield as well. Currently, Froggen has just brought the CS level, and again, we see Wei Xiao actually trying to escape from this one. Froggen will let him go this time around, so Wei Xiao is going to come in with the first items of this game. So long sword, plus a health pot, plus a mana pot.
We'll see how it helps him out here. Well, the Froggen's going to... I think he's going to clear this wave off and back off himself, actually. You can see he's making sure he gets the last hit. Now he's going to step away. He has got his force built up completely. He's not going to do anything, no. Wei Xiao is just going to have to take the hit. So, Froggen build up a small gold advantage, and it's enough to get him a double Doran's Blade. That's a big difference.
Yeah, being able to go back with an extra wave's worth of money is going to be huge because he already had the advantage on Wei Xiao, and now he's going to have the blades to back it up. Although he has no consumables because it cost him the full 900 gold that he had in his pockets.
Oh, straight aggressive.
Yeah, not messing around, that's for sure. Actually going in. Wei Xiao down to half HP. He's going to go through. Wei Xiao gets the help right next to Froggen. There is the knock-up. No level 6, of course. Froggen did actually use his summoner heal there.
Because he has no sustain to rely on. It's going to be, very important for him to get the relic.
Oh, the exhaust goes down. This could be it. Wei Xiao's in all sorts of trouble. Where's he going to go? Froggen's just going to keep on building that crit hit up. He's completely separated Wei Xiao. One more hit. He's trying to get to level 6. Wei Xiao cleverly flag tosses away from this one. Froggen not going to land. And he does keep it safe for now. And that's going to give Wei Xiao preference. He's going to back the hell out of there. No, sticks around.
He finally just popped his pot there, which it was sad. I'm surprised he didn't go a little bit earlier on. And whoever hits level 6 here, Froggen may just decide to go for that knockup. Wei Xiao can throw the ulti in there as well. There's a level 6 for Froggen. Gets the knockup as well. Wei Xiao finds away though. So close.
Wei Xiao absolutely has to back away this time. Froggen may go deep on this one. Yeah, second tower was required for Wei Xiao. That's going to give him a big advantage on the tower.
He's got a lot of turret damage here. He might be able to finish it. There's a long walk back here for Wei Xiao. He can use his dash to get there a little bit quicker, and then the minion wave will actually run out here for Froggen. Another one arrives just in time. He's got to use his dash.
He's got to use the dash. He's got to go for this one.
Wei Xiao's got to go all in, but I'm not too sure. I think Froggen may well get this one with the tower going down. One more hit should be enough. He sidesteps in, and Froggen takes the tower down and takes victory for Team Ice here at the All-Star Challenge in Paris.
Fantastic victory there for Team Ice, and coming down to the turret in the end, and you see hugs from the rest of his teammates who they always have the faith in Froggen. You've got to have faith in a player like that. The Jarvan pickup was somewhat of a surprise to us. Actually, was for the early stage of that doing well and was ahead on the farm.
So Froggen did a great job of utilizing his dashes to make Wei Xiao second guess going in with his combo, because Jarvan's combo is much thinner now. It's harder to hit. If Froggen's constantly dashing around and you miss that knockup, you're in big trouble. So Wei Xiao was very conservative with his knockups, trying to go in for Froggen.
Especially when you use flash heal as well, right?
Oh yeah,
not flash heal, sorry, barrier heal.
Barrier heal, yeah.
You can't do that. Like, you can't be caught out of position for him. So.
But what a great comeback for Ice. I mean, you saw the opening game. Everyone saw it and we were like, oh dear, this is not going to go well for Ice. Bjergsen on fire in that matchup. No pun intended, but absolutely wrecked them in that game. But, you know, Ice, that one game, and actually speaking to Froggen beforehand, you know, he wanted to practice. His team were not around. They were splintered all over the place. But that whooping that Fire gave Ice in that day one, they embarrassed everyone on Team Ice, and actually all the players, it actually brought them closer together, because they all went, that is not happening again. So it drew them together and actually kind of did them a favor, and Froggen and his team seem to have turned out very well. But it was a great finish. You know, the fact that these 1v1s, it went so close, it went 5-5, and then all down to that one single super match, which we kind of thought it may well do, actually. We weren't too sure, but what a fantastic finish to the All-Star Challenge.
It was pretty good. And, you know, we do have to mention that Team Ice had a little bit of an advantage there with Mad Life and Cool speaking a little bit of English.
Yeah.
They have enough to get by and communicate in game at least. So it did help them out when they were on the comeback and they needed to come back from that Bjergsen embarrassment. That's what really pulled them together, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking to Froggen, he said he's actually, communication wasn't that much of a problem. You'd only use one word, but everybody kind of knew what they're doing because everybody's played solo queue, everybody's played team games. They all knew what was happening. What a fantastic finish to All-Star Challenge. Let's send things over to Quickshot and the team at the analyst desk to wrap up the All-Star Challenge.
Thank you very much, Team A. Get a drink of water there. A little bit tongue-tied, it appears. So, at the end of the day, Team Ice come out victorious. It went all the way down to the wire, all the way down to the very last 1v1.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, let's break down the very first matchup. It was Archie, of course, taking on Shy, a Varus versus Quinn battle, and it definitely appears as though a bird is the word. Quinn came out on top. Freak, what do you think?
So he definitely wasn't shy about all-inning all the time. Right. The level 1 all-in was not worth it because at first I was like, oh, Varus is a great pick against Quinn because Quinn has to all-in and get into the minion line, and pulled Minion Dagger doing that, and that was a really bad mistake by Shy. But he pulled it back, and the thing is, Quinn is like the best duelist of the AD carries, and so if you get to the point where someone is out of position, you can train that person down, and that's exactly what happened. Like, Vault and Blind are both really good in that kind of matchup, and it played out that way.
Yeah, Valor's burst was definitely helping out. Right, the next matchup was, of course, a Lee Sin versus Lee Sin duel as Cool took on QTV. It did look like Lee Sin was able to restore sight to the Blind Monk, beating QTV and earning a point for his team, keeping him in the game. What do you think of that, Greppo?
Bad puns. Anyways, I just wanted to note, I mean, it's a Lee Sin matchup going both ways. They skill a little differently, and that's all interesting. The most interesting part for me was that QTV was running X-Frequence, because we were all sitting here like, oh yeah, he's gonna hit level 2 now, and he's gonna get wrecked, and suddenly like QTV hits level 2 first, and you're like, how is that possible? Because he must have been running X-Frequence there.
Yep.
Sadly enough, he didn't push the first wave to really make, because he could have traded CS and for damage, because he would have hit level 2 first and just been able to all in, but he was too afraid to lose the matchup in the first level. And that could have been a really interesting scenario, but yeah, Cool played it really well, and he just was the better Lee Sin player.
We're also talking about the fact that when he fell a little behind, probably his best option was to spend some money and maybe just try all in.
But also, he actually, when he got level 2, he went in, and then he completely missed the Q. I think he landed in the bush or something, and that was actually his chance. And yeah, as you said, then he should have recalled, get back to lane.
Right, the next matchup was the duos of Doublelift and Madlife taking on Varus and Kennen. Sorry, they were playing Varus and Kennen against Diamond and Bjergsen, who were on Brand and Annie. So Team Fire, Diamond and Bjergsen, they played a thematic duo. Both of the champions were flame-based, both of them were on fire. And Madlife actually has a history against these champions. He's failed to win with them in, I believe it was OGN, and then has lost to this duo twice. Monty, tell us a little bit of story about this.
Yeah, this was the second loss, and it's particularly funny. I think that it was picked by Team Fire just because they're Fire champions, but this actually probably brought back a lot of bad memories for Madlife. So back a few seasons of Champions ago, Frost picked a Brand Annie bot lane as kind of a disrespect against the KT Rolster Arrows and lost the game. And then what happened was in Club Masters, KT was up over Frost, and so they picked the Annie Brand bot lane and then beat Madlife and Woong with it. And so losing here again probably stings a little bit for Madlife, who has a really bad history with Annie Brand lanes, strangely enough.
Yeah, maybe it's just Stunlock. It's just CC, doesn't it? But that was very close. The level 1 or level 2 engage, I believe it was Diamond, just got away by the skin of his teeth, almost giving the victory over to Team Ice. It was very dramatic.
I've actually played it whenever me and Froggen used to duo queue, we'd either run like Annie Brand or Thresh and Lee Sin, but the Annie Brand lanes, it's really interesting. You feel like you're really powerful, but you need to wait at least to level 3 until you have one of each spell so you can really rely on that spell burst, because you'll go all in and then you're out of ammunition and then you'll get turned on. And that almost happened, but they managed to survive and then get enough spells down to, get a convincing victory. It wasn't close at all.
Convincing victory. I like that. Then, of course, it all came down to the very last battle, the Super 1v1, where Froggen was playing Yasuo against Wei Xiao on Jarvan. Now, Wei Xiao will simply not forgive himself, as the winds were in Froggen's favor as he took down the tower. Defisho, what did you think of that matchup?
Well, the matchup itself I actually felt was in favor of Froggen. Also because, first of all, he started Q at level 1, which I really like, because he didn't want to get in range of the auto attack from Jarvan early on with the passive bonk in your head. And also, Wei Xiao decided to build towards Brutalizer, where Froggen just went straight Dawn's Blades. So he was stronger there in the early fights, and also he could just jump around, kite around Jarvan. Kobe talked about how hard it is for Jarvan to actually hit him. And we just have to say, Froggen, he is 100% pure Danish. And that's why he's doing so well here.
Well, Bjergsen won his matchup. We'll have to see what the Queen says about him.
I'm not convinced yet. I'm not convinced.
All right, guys. So here is a final look at how teams Ice and Fire fared over the course of the All-Star Challenge. Team Fear was hot right out of the gate and took an early lead with a commanding performance in our ultra rapid fire match. Not to be outdone, Team Ice surged forward to take the lead with wins in Hexakill and the pick 10, making the score 4-2. And as we just saw in the 2v2, Fire was able to pull the points back to a tie. In the super fun 1v1, Froggen extinguished the competition and secured the final 3 points and the win. We are now going to award a most valuable player of the All-Star Challenges. It is a completely arbitrary honor. It carries with it no banner, no signal, no trophy, only personal satisfaction and bragging rights. It is merely the most valuable player of the All-Star Challenge Paris 2014, as determined by a panel of one. Mitch Crepo Forspools. And if you have any issues with his choice or the means by which he reached it, our only defense of this is because Crepo says so. Now, can I please ask everybody at the table to raise their Crepos? We are entrusting you with a very great responsibility, Crepo. Who is your All-Star Paris 2014 Challenge MVP?
Yeah, okay. If Fire would have won, I would have nominated Double Lift as the MVP because he was very instrumental to all of Fire's victories by feeding. But I have to hand it to Cool. He was a really good player. He wasn't supposed to be here. He subbed in all of a sudden, and then just, Ice looked revitalized. They started playing better. He's a really insanely Sin player, so for me, he gets the MVP vote because I say so.
Definitely stepped up his game.
Didn't lose a single game. I mean, he came back and just won everything, and here's his one-on-one as well, of course. He was actually ahead of QTV pretty much the entire time, so it's just a matter of time before it won on CS if he didn't kill him.
Very exciting game. Managed to get the last hit there right at the end. And like we've rightly pointed out, coming in, covering for Salme.
Yeah, and, well, the funny thing as well is his team now, or former team, I guess he's still a sub for them, is in the final as well, OMG. He played
former team. Is he leaving OMG to join Team Fire?
I think so, yeah. I would do so, man. They're winning everything.
So, quick last comment there on Cools, seeing as our OMG expert is at the end of the table.
Yeah, he's awesome, right? And the great thing about this is, so he's obviously a phenomenal, world-class individual player, and there's someone even better than him in the mid lane helming the team for the finals, so, go OMG.
Now, I do have one last comment, seeing as I set this one up. To close it out, if you guys at home do have any complaints about the MVP selection or you feel somebody else should have won it, please complain to @ScumbagCrepo on Twitter. It is his choice. It is his problem. It was him saying so.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I believe we're going to be getting ourselves set up for the final. We've had a lot of fun here at the desk with the All-Star Challenge having now wrapped up. Team Ice coming out victorious. The final, the invitation is what it's all about. SKT versus OMG. Let's get some opening thoughts before we start heading towards the stage. Monty, does OMG really stand a chance?
Not really.
What would they need to do? What would they need to do? As a few bullet points in order to help overcome SKT.
Of course, they are a top team, but really the teams that have been most successful against SK Telecom have done so with vision control. When we really look at SK Telecom T1K as a team, they really thrive off of creating picks and 1v1 or 2v2 skirmish outplay. When you force them into a situation where they can't get that, where they don't know where you are on the map because you've been sweeping and using your pink wards effectively, they have a really hard time defending sieges and winning 5v5 team fights.
We'll have to see if they can do that. We will be back with some more pre-game analysis in a moment or two. Right now, we're going to check in with Shox, who is standing by with the captains of both of the challenge teams, Ice and Fire.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm joined here in the interview lounge by the winning Team Ice captain Froggen, along with Team Fire's captain Diamond. That were some interesting games. Let's start with the last one, Froggen. Yasuo versus Jarvan, but you ended up just taking down the tower. I think you wanted to kill him.
I think I got the better of the luck in the champion selection because Yasuo does really well against Jarvan. So.
And Diamond, tell me about your matchup because it was clear. Fire, we're going for Brand and Annie. What kind of resistance did you get from playing versus Kennen and Varus? Was it hard or was it kind of GG easy?
Okay, so Fire counters only by Ice, and they didn't pick it, so they lost. But it was a great experience for me and Bjorksen to play against such a great duo.
Yeah, was that also the reason why you were very, very happy? I don't think I've ever seen you jumping up quite that high.
Yeah, that was that mattered for me a lot.
Okay, and Froggen, tell me a little bit more about the competition. It all came down to that last moment. Did you feel the pressure there?
Can you repeat?
Oh, did you feel the pressure really at the end? Because you knew I have to win it here for my team.
Yeah, there definitely was. The pressure was definitely on since the best bottom lane in the world lost to a European bot lane. So, so I kind of had to win to make guys win. So I could feel the pressure.
Tell me a little bit about your experience as captain of the team. You've been able to play with these best players of all around the world, basically. And did you learn something from that you might take to Gambit or you to Alliance, Diamond?
Okay, I learned a lot from that event because I was discussing a lot of like game-wise stuff with our players, which are, in my opinion, like the best in the world. And I think I will bring it to Gambit, and we will improve even more. But what's more important, it was like I really like to play with such a great guys like my team. I wish to see more of such events later.
Froggen?
I learned that the different regions are extremely strong mechanical players too. I was actually surprised a bit with how good Cool was since he was just out and he's not even starter for this tournament. I was really surprised.
And he was also the MVP, as Crepo said. I found that very interesting that you say it's also kind of about friendship here. Who have you built up maybe the closest relationship with here, Diamond?
Me?
Yeah.
Reckless.
Reckless? All right. Yeah. Oh, why is that?
We were playing a lot of duo queues with him, so it was fun. It was a great experience. And
Froggen?
I'm not sure. I got a lot of new friends. I probably talked the most with MadLife. So.
And learned a lot from him, I can imagine. Final question for you guys. We have, of course, the final of the Invitational Tournament coming up as OMG takes on SK Telecom T1K. Diamond, how do you think it will go? Which team has the edge and why?
I think SCT has an upper hand because they're just stronger, in my opinion. But we practiced yesterday against OMG as Gambit, and they're really strong. I think they have a chance, like, to not maybe win SKT, but they can manage to win some games against them, at least.
Froggen?
I think SKT is going to win this, but it's probably going to be... OMG can take a few games off SKT, maybe. But they're looking really strong, so I think SKT will win.
Oh, whatever it may be, I hope we get 5 games. Thank you very much, guys. Congratulations, Froggen, and congratulations on beating that bottom lane as well, Diamond. And it's nearly time for the All-Star Invitational Finals to begin. But first, let's take a look at how the All-Star event has brought fans together from all over the world and how this audience in Paris has gone above and beyond as the OP MVP.
The best game ever, and this is awesome.
We love this game, and we love watching people playing this game well. We are very excited. We want to...
We have fun.
Yes, we're big fans.
We're from Ireland, Dublin.
I come from Montpellier.
I'm from Holland.
Saint-Etienne.
We're from Cambridge in the UK.
China.
I came from Brazil.
Canada.
Belgium.
We're from England, and we're here to see Cloud9.
Fnatic.
OMG.
SKT.
Fnatic.
I came here to see actually all the teams.
I made to stream for the Fanatics, and if I don't have voice anymore after, that's not a big deal.
C9.
Totally
yeah.
Cloud9.
Because of Link, though.
SKT and OMG and all the good teams and all the skills.
It's like the World Championships before the real date. And I have to say, I'm loving it. It's amazing. It seems like there's a hell of a lot more people here than a normal LCS. Like, it looked like it was a couple of thousand at least.
On League of Legends, I think like the French audience is
the best one.
On the top, but they will have to prove it.
There will be lots of people screaming.
Oh, this is going to be amazing. Everyone's going to be so hyped, and yeah, they're going to explode, you know, cheers, and it'll be great fun.
The fans here are absolutely ridiculous. Even 5 minutes before the show started, they were louder than almost any arena I've ever been.
When they get a tower, when they're getting a kill, first blood, anything, just crowd goes wild. You see everything starts rumbling.
The place actually shakes. The crowd will be amazing. The matchups will be amazing.
Cloud9 versus Fnatic was a total highlight for us. Like, I know the audience is supporting Fnatic, or Fnatic.
OMG1 versus Fnatic was really great.
OMG was amazing.
Yeah, they're so ruthless. They're like just going in, and they don't stop.
Killing
yeah, they kill one person, they're gonna get another. Like, they don't stop. They're going to go into your base and just kill you.
FLICKR gave us an awesome Olivia. Made my day, actually.
The individual mechanics, the players, the rotations, everything is beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
It's constant action. Earth mode is brilliant.
Oh my god, he just dominated. Bjergsen on fire. He's got better skills than double lift on Ezreal.
People were like so happy and like clapping, and I started shaking in the middle of the game. I was like, oh, I need to calm down a bit, but it was amazing. The fans here are awesome.
The atmosphere is like incredible.
Just the experience, the people, the crowd, it's so insane. It's like everything is a highlight for me. I'm so hyped to be here.
All the fans are really friendly, and I actually met a lot of new friends, I'll say.
We became friends on Twitch, we stream, we play together, we have the same friends. And when I was coming to the event, me, her, and two of our other friends, we said, why don't we stay in an apartment together? It's gonna be more fun, cheaper. So we did, and it's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
It's a big event, so I was very excited, and it was fun to see all the teams.
It happened just one time in a life.
Du grand spectacle. On est là pour du grand spectacle.